What's good, people? Welcome back to the Victory and Vices podcast. We've been away for a while. We took a little month off just because we had other stuff to do, but you are back with us again. So if you're watching, and again, you're a reoccurring subscriber, God bless, we appreciate you. If you're new here, keep tuning in. Hit the like button on this video, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, do what you gotta do. Anyway, that's that part out the way.
It is.
Where do you want to kick off, bro?
Well, not where I was hoping to kick off. As you know, the plan was to go over our season predictions.
Let me give this some context for the
and
people.
I fucked it.
Let me give this some context for the people, right? Before the season started, we decided what we will do is we will write down from 1 to 20 our Premier League predictions, so to speak. So who we thought would come first, second, third, fourth, so on.
Yeah.
Top goal scorer, player of the year, things like that.
First manager to be sacked.
First manager to be sacked.
Yeah,
Anyway.
a few extras
So,
I got.
Vecky's in charge, right?
It's me. It's my job.
Where are these?
I don't know at the moment. I know they exist, and I know.
If anyone's seen them, please send them over to us because we have no idea where they are right now.
Yeah. So.
Well, we have one actually. We have Sean Dunn. Sean's not on the podcast, but shout out to Sean.
He's a friend of ours, and he did get involved. The whole idea was that the person that got the most predictions right or got the highest score, then we would all just buy a round of drinks for that person. So it was only a little bit of simple fun, but it only worked at like £4 or £5 each off us all. So that's still in the pipeline. It is still going to be coming because I know they exist. I know they're around.
Out there somewhere.
They are around. If I've got one, I've got them all. So we won't be going over those today.
Unfortunately not.
But they will be soon.
No, very true. All right, this is the end of season roundup, people. Again, we are I was going to say the world's best up-and-coming podcast, but
that's a big claim.
That's debatable because there's a lot of good podcasts out there. But local to us, we're the best up-and-coming podcast.
Indeed.
And shout out to all the other podcasts in Swansea as well and everywhere else. They're all doing big things too, so we all support one another, so that's important as well. But moving forward, okay, end of season roundup.
Yeah.
I don't really know where to start. I mean, Liverpool winning the Champions League. That's a good starting point because it's probably the most recent thing, right?
Yeah.
The most underwhelming game of football I've ever seen. And I've seen under 9 games that are more intense than Liverpool Spurs. That wasn't a Champions League final. That was a pre-season friendly.
Yeah.
And it was garbage. Shout out to Liverpool though. Look, their good season became great. We now have to mention Liverpool in the same breath as all these other great teams that have won the Champions League because it's not an easy mountain to climb.
Yeah.
But the game itself was abysmal.
Yeah. The word you used, you hit the nail on the head, is underwhelming. And I tweeted and I posted on social media a couple of times about it being a very underwhelming game and that it was one of the worst games of football that I've watched.
It's probably the worst game of the season.
We watched it together.
Yeah.
We don't watch many games of football together. Maybe we shouldn't. Because
definitely not.
Because
not
based on that, we might give it one more crack.
We did watch Juventus Real in the final in Cardiff, and that was a good game.
Oh, that was a brilliant game, yeah. So we're 1 for 1, one shit, one good, right? But a lot of Liverpool fans thought that I was maybe having a pop at them, and they were saying, like I expected really 6 times, and these sort of bit of banter that you were going to get anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But just to kind of like set the record straight out, I really wasn't having a pop at Liverpool because ultimately they won the Champions League, and there's nothing I can really say to that because
just in the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of things, you've won the Champions League, which is the ultimate prize in club football.
Hell of an achievement, by the way. Like,
it was only fitting that after probably the best quarterfinals and semi-finals we've ever seen, that the final was absolute dog shit.
Oh my god, I know. And not just that, the Europa League final was every bit as bad.
That was in itself the whole setup that we'll come to that in a second. But Liverpool won't care ultimately. The players won't care, the fans won't care because they won. And they got the job done. But for Spurs, that was a huge opportunity.
I was going to bring this up because this requires a little forward thinking now.
Yeah.
Because you have Spurs where Eriksen's come out now and said he wants to leave. We're going to do separate transfer videos so the top I say the top 6, Chelsea and the transfer ban. We can't do a video for that. We're good, but we're not that good. We'll do transfer videos that will incorporate everything. We're going to have separate transfer videos all the way throughout the summer coming up, that will discuss all the latest news, whether it's De Ligt, Eriksen, Hazard, Daniel James, you name them, we got them. But moving forward with Spurs, obviously Eriksen saying he wants to leave. Danny Rose has made it abundantly clear he wants to leave. I am going to call this now. Pochettino will be Manchester United manager by May next year.
You think?
Solskjaer isn't going to last in that position. And Pochettino now cannot climb that mountain with Spurs again.
Yes, it's a bold prediction because a lot needs to unfold for that to occur.
Sometimes in life you have to make a bold statement. You do.
Of course. There was a lot of people saying that the game for Spurs, the Champions League final that is, was a lot more important than it was for Liverpool.
Massively.
Because
massively more important.
We both said that it would be quite easier for Liverpool to climb that mountain again. They did it the season before.
Bro, that Liverpool team is built to go to the Champions League finals.
And you felt if Spurs had have won it, it'd have given them something. The players at the club who may potentially leave now would kind of be thinking, well, we play for the Champions League.
They're not dumb, bro. They know they can't climb that mountain again.
So they needed that because, especially with the new stadium, they needed something of any sort of substance to try and keep them there. And like you just said, the chances of them doing that again are slim to none.
Spurs aren't the best payers. If anybody,
of course.
Anybody who follows Spurs quite closely, you'll know that Daniel Levy, his bank account really does have a burglar alarm on it. The guy doesn't give out money for anybody, and he's not going to break wage structures to keep people. He'll be like, no, you can go, but he'll get a good fee for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what will happen. You will see a fire sale at Spurs over the next, I'd say maybe 2 seasons, give or take. I don't think they can compete for the Premier League the way they want. I don't think they'll compete in the Champions League the way they want.
And if they're to let players like Eriksen go, then they have to hope, because they're not going to splash that much money, so they're going to have to hope that in trying to replace him, that they unleash one of those gems again, like a Son or something like that, where they can bring someone in for 20 to 30 million, which is not a lot of money, and they turn out like a Son or an Ericsson or someone like that.
Who was my guy they bid for the other day?
Lo Celso, is it?
Lo Celso. No, I haven't seen a lot of Celso. So I don't know anything about him other than the fact that he used to play at PSG. The people I follow on Twitter that predominantly follow Spanish football were raving about him, saying this guy is the business. Mm-hmm. And he, when I did my Spurs transfer video, I picked all central midfielders. And again, I fully believe central midfield is where Spurs lack. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at Harry Winks, he came back. He wasn't fully fit right in the final, but he's very limited in terms of his ability at the top level. And you look at Sissoko's all energy. He's not the smartest. He doesn't have that technical ability. And when he did this and put his arm up, all the way up for some reason, like, I don't know what the hell he was thinking a minute into the game.
Yeah, and it potentially cost them the game as well.
No, it did cost them a game. It cost because at 0-0 you have some type of momentum. Even at 1-0 down, I thought, okay, Spurs will have to come out now and be on the front foot and attack. Okay, you're a little cagey in the first 20 minutes, but you make a conscious effort to try and make things happen. Nothing happened until Moura came on. I said he should have started as well.
Yeah, and you know what? This is actually, I think, we were going to save the questions that we were asked till the end. But we've been asked a question which I think is quite relevant to this sort of topic that we're on. So I'm just going to shoot into one of the questions at the moment. It's from Luke Edwards. Shout out to Luke.
Yeah, shout out to Luke, man. Luke's always showing us love on Twitter as well, man.
Yeah, he's always sort of tweeting us and sharing stuff. And he's good to us like that. And he's asked, and I think a lot of people have asked this question as well. He said, do you think Harry Kane should have started the Champions League final?
Absolutely. Didn't I say this to you when we were watching it? I'm pretty sure I said Moura should start. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you did.
I'm sure I said it multiple times.
Yeah, and to answer that question directly, Luke, the answer is that, in my opinion, no. I don't think he should have started.
He should have.
Kane. You think
no, Lucas now. Sorry. No, hell no, I didn't think Kane should start.
So the question was,
have had Kane on
should
the bench,
Kane have started? Yeah, and there was a lot of people saying that he's their best player. If they don't play him and they lose, people are going to be asking the question, why didn't Kane start? Well, to that I would say, who got you there?
Moura.
Who got you to Champions League final? It was, yes, Moura had a huge part in that, but your Son, Moura, Eriksen, Ali, those sort
Ali
of
went
players.
missing as well, though, in fairness.
Even Llorente had a couple of saves in it as well.
Llorente now as an impact player would have been far better than Kane.
And Kane, he sort of rushed himself back through injury a little bit now, like he always does. Whether it's Kane specifically or whether it's the physio team, the medical team.
Yeah.
But Kane has come off the back of a few, don't want to use the word serious, but
reoccurring ankle injuries.
Yeah, injuries now. And he's come back perhaps too quick. He didn't do anything in the Champions League final. He hasn't done anything in the Nations League fixtures either.
No.
And it begs the question, did he really just come back too fast?
Yeah. I read a really interesting piece. I don't know who did it, right? Because I don't follow that person on Twitter. But when you're browsing through, I think someone retweeted it, or I read it for whatever reason. And the guy was an expert in his field on ligament injuries or something or another. I can't remember the ins and outs of it. But basically what he was saying was Harry Kane's reoccurring injury will keep reoccurring until you get the proper ankle surgery, which he still hasn't done, by the way. So Harry Kane, now that ankle surgery would have put him out for the rest of the season. From a selfish perspective, he's probably looked at that and gone, I want to be a part of the Champions League final. I get that, obviously, you are the big dog at Spurs and, you're the go-to guy, so to speak. But I don't necessarily think it was a smart move from Pochettino. He hadn't played since the Champions League quarter-final against City, which was a long time. And then the heat in Madrid, like at some point during the day, it was well over 30 degrees. Pitch side, it would have easily been 30 degrees. That's not a good environment for a player coming back from an injury.
It surprised me, Pochettino's decision there, because I did think that he would have sort of just showed a little bit of common sense and just thought, I can rely on the boys that have got me there. Like Moura, because even when he came on in the second half, he was very promising.
Bro, and the thing is, not to go into too much tactical depth about it all, when you play Moura and you play Son and you play, Eriksen or Ali, it gives you an opportunity to get behind the defence and you can split the centre halves, whereas Kane sort of is designed to occupy the centre halves. And I just felt like that tactic would have worked a bit better against Liverpool.
100%.
But that's just my opinion anyway.
Yeah, so just to answer your question, we're going to go with no, he shouldn't have started the Champions League final.
Yeah, absolutely not. But yeah, Champions League final was just... It was pathetic, really.
It's not what we wanted, was it? But
that is a spectacle. Now, that was bad. The Europa League, we'll get onto that now, because that was every bit as bad, if not worse, from location to the fact that Henrik Mkhitaryan couldn't even travel, which I thought was absolutely disgusting. Did you see the thing on Twitter about the Arsenal fan wearing a Mkhitaryan shirt?
Yeah.
And the police were like, you're going to truncheon up your ass if you do not move.
Even though some of them had flags covering the shirt, they were asking them to pull up the shirt.
Disgraceful, bro.
Yeah, what's under your shirt?
Absolutely
Are you looking for
disgraceful.
Mkhitaryan? Yes. Yeah, it is absolutely disgraceful.
Again, I don't know the ins and outs of the Armenian, Azerbaijani...
issue.
Political conflict is what I'm looking for. So I don't know why he would have felt unsafe.
But
obviously, looking at the police, I kind of know.
There was, I think it was UEFA, or someone was saying pretty much something along the lines of, it'll be fine, you'll be safe, just travel, everything will be okay. And then you saw how they were treating just the Arsenal fans.
Bro, that's very true.
And it's probably a wise call for him not to go, really. Yeah, it's appalling that he couldn't.
Yeah, and he didn't miss much anyway.
No. Now, from a logistic perspective, and the stadium and all that sort of in itself was a bit ridiculous. The actual game itself was okay. The atmosphere was shocking. Well, it was. It
was all right. Hazard saved the game.
Yeah, there was a few decent goals, and there was 5 goals in the game. Was it 5-4-1? Wasn't it?
I can't remember.
So from a footballing fan perspective, there was a bit more of something to watch. Because obviously Iwobi scored a really good goal.
Iwobi scored a belter of a goal in fairness.
And there was a few good goals on the Chelsea side. Hazard was fantastic, as he normally is.
He knew he was going though, so that was his.
And it was his farewell. But the whole situation. Did you see the running track in between the fans?
Bro,
I hate it when that happens.
I do as well. I prefer the stadium to be on top of you, that sort of intense atmosphere. I don't know how true this is either, right? But following a lot of Arsenal fans on Twitter, who FYI paid a scandalous amount of money to get out there and travelled for 48 hours. I couldn't do that. But they were saying that there was so little, or there's such a small fan base in there that they just let people in for free in the end. Like, they let locals come in for free just to fill up the seats, which I find amazing. The whole thing was a shit show.
Yeah.
And you think that's bad? Wait till the Qatar World Cup comes round.
Yeah, and I'm pretty
That is going to be a shit.
I'm pretty sure that Baku, the stadium in Baku, is being used in Euro 2020 as well.
It's disgraceful, bro. If that's the case.
And if the Europa League final's ending to go by logistically, how that will play out.
It makes no sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense. But I think it was, how many tickets did they get allocated each? It was only about 6,000 or 8,000.
I was going to say it was about 6,000 each.
And both sides had to hand a couple of thousand of those back,
just
because how difficult it was. I listened to TalkSport a lot, and they've had fans from both Arsenal and Chelsea, sort of ones that did go, explaining sort of how much they spent and how difficult it was. There was one guy saying that he's literally had to book like a holiday in Dubai for a week, so he's gone out there for like 4 days and then travelled in from Dubai to Baku and then home, just because
Dubai sounds kind of nice.
Yeah, but he was explaining that the money that it would cost him to just get to Baku versus going to Dubai at the same time wasn't too dissimilar. That he could do that. Do you know what I mean? And whilst you would think to that, he's had a holiday in Dubai as well, but when you're comparing them, the fact that them two cost a similar amount of money just tells you how ridiculous it was, isn't it? So, it was all over the shop logistically, and I don't know where it's being held next year.
I don't know either. It was a weird end to the season, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it was a super weird end, because you had, like you said, the Premier League title race goes down to the wire, and City come through. We don't need to discuss that in too much depth, but you were correct. I'll point that out. You said that City would win the league. I said Liverpool. I did it more for sensationalism. Sensationalism. Am I saying that? Sensationalism?
I think so, yeah.
Is that correct?
We'll go with that.
I'll go with that anyway. I did it for that purpose, right? Just to amp shit up. Obviously, I believe City were going to win.
Oh, yeah. I also said as well, and I think I call this from like February onwards, that both sides would win every one of their Premier League games as well.
Yeah, you did.
Which they did.
You did, yeah.
Which is incredible.
Did I call Chelsea to win the Europa League? You said Arsenal were going to win. I think I did.
I don't know. I think I said Chelsea.
No,
I'm sure you said Arsenal.
No.
Play that back.
We're going to play that back, because I know that I said Chelsea. That's about the one thing I could hold over you today. That and the flipping the envelopes. That was it. I know I said. I know.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
I know I said Chelsea.
We'll come back to that Europa League.
But anyway, Europa League was dire. Champions League was dire, which is ironic given the fact, as we said, the
everything else was brilliant.
Redonkulous.
Congratulations to Chelsea, though.
Look,
they got the job done.
Chelsea won, and Sarri said, "You know what? I'm done. Pay me what you owe me, and we'll go our separate ways."
Yeah, he said, "I don't think this is going to work out anymore."
Yeah,
we should see other people.
It's not you, it's me. Yeah. I believe that's the terminology.
Yeah,
the kids
and we should see other people. Absolutely. Yeah. Arsenal, they fucked it again. They couldn't get in the top four. Obviously, Chelsea beat them to that.
I don't know what to say about Arsenal anymore, bro. I
really
don't.
You couldn't place any more emphasis on or importance on a game than the Europa League final for them, because
it was do or die.
And we won't get into their financial issues, right, with Stan Kroenke. We've discussed this on numerous episodes, so we won't give that too much time, right? But we're aware, and we've explained to the people Arsenal's financial situation and how they don't get to shop on the top aisles. They have to shop on different aisles to United, City, Liverpool, etc. So they really needed this They needed Champions League football. It was absolutely essential.
But you know what? I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I love Arsenal Fan TV or AFTV. And bro, I genuinely know they're very polarizing figures, right? Because some people love them, some people hate them. I genuinely enjoy them all for a variety of different reasons, right? But I come away now at the end of the season, and just from a human perspective, I feel so sorry for them, bro. The money they spend, and it's the hope that kills you. They all travel to Baku, right, in minibuses and planes, and they got there and they're like, you know what, we could really do something. We've been good against Chelsea all season, and we beat them before, and I just looked and I thought, I can't see it myself.
Yeah.
And then deep down I felt for them, and it's the hope that kills you. It's your victory and your vices.
It's been that way for Arsenal for many years now as well, and I don't know how long the problem will go on for, because they started quite promisingly, as Arsenal tend to do. But they didn't take any chances, and then they just capitulated at the back.
Yeah.
And how many times do we have to point out that back four needs like a complete overhaul?
The problem is now Arsenal have all those Arsenal players that started the season well went off the boil. Like Orban now, I don't know if his head has been turned by China, but they're on about him moving to China potentially.
Do you know what
I don't think he would, but I mean,
maybe not China, but if a top European side comes in who's in the Champions League and offers to build on his wages, would you say no if you're Aubameyang?
I mean, it depends how happy he is in London.
He's at that stage in his career, right, where he's maybe got, 2 or 3 years at the top, longer now.
I mean, probably, yeah. Before he loses a yard pace, yeah.
While he's in his sort of his prime, and do you want to spend that at Arsenal Football Club? And you're not playing Champions League football?
Hand on heart, I look at it right now and wonder, A, why no bigger club came in for him, and B, why he chose Arsenal.
Yeah, but he's the Golden Boot winner.
Well, this is what I mean. He's clearly a very good football player. So
like if I off the top of my head, I'm trying to think now, if like if Dortmund came back for him, or like Atletico Madrid, a Barcelona, a Real, a Bayern, just these. I
don't think you could turn him down.
You wouldn't, would you? And you wouldn't if you're Aubameyang. Why would you do that? Because you've come to Arsenal, you've finished joint top goal scorer in the Premier League, you've pulled your weight, you've done your bit, and it's not enough.
Yeah, I think his Arsenal career will be all in vain. I don't think he's going to win anything at Arsenal.
Not at all.
He'll pick up a nice wage. Don't get me wrong. If you like London and London life, and you're living there with copious amounts of money, terrific. London is a place to be for you, innit? You mean? But
yeah, and you see he's on a good wage. He's still not on anywhere as much as Ozil.
Look, I mean, he's still missing in Baku as well. Yeah. Actually, I tell a lie. Mesut Ozil was last seen getting married in Turkey the other day, and the Turkish Prime Minister was his best man. Did you know that?
I did not.
That's some serious clout, bro. Do you know when you have a political figurehead as your best man? That's serious clout. Like Mesut Ozil runs Turkey.
That's like Boris Johnson being your best man.
Can you imagine that? Oh, that dickhead. Can you imagine? Jesus. But
Boris.
Yeah, Mesut Ozil missing in action. Aubameyang missing in action. Laka's been alright, so can't cut him some slack. But then you look at Torreira's gone. Torreira's, bro, I haven't seen Torreira since like February. Don't know where he's gone.
He's just lost.
Guendouzi, don't know where he's gone. The Arsenal back four capitulated. Cech was already signing Chelsea players for the season after in his new role. he didn't give a hoot about what was going on in that final. He was like, you know what? It's like a training session anyway. Who cares? Yeah. But yeah, it was a really weird end to the season, bro. Probably one of the weirdest ends to a Premier League season I've ever seen. You consider that there was 3 successful English clubs in terms of Man City. Let me just turn this off.
And who is that at this hour?
that is no one important. That's who it is. So there was 3 successful sides, and it all felt a little bit irrelevant. As weird as that sounds, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Irrelevant. Not irrelevant's probably the wrong word, but underwhelming describes it very fittingly. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't get the same excitement watching those games that I did other games.
Yeah.
And that's not to, diminish the actual size of the task or the achievement. What they did, what they all did was incredible. Like, we completely wrote Chelsea off. We were like, Sarri has just lost a dressing room, which he probably still has. He's secretly Jorginho's dad, and it was all kicking off. And Cesc Fabregas was like, I hate Sarri, and he's come out and said, I hate him. And there's just numerous problems. And for him to come away with a trophy and a top 4 finish, that's wild.
I said at a certain point, if they were going to sack him, that they had to sack him now. And I think that was sort of like February-ish time.
Yeah.
Because I said if they weren't going to sack him at that moment, then they can't leave it any later. They've just got to back him.
Yeah.
And they kind of did to a degree, and it turned out okay for them in the end.
Yeah, it did work out all right, didn't it?
Just a question that's popping into my head. What I'm going to do in just a second is clarify a couple of who won what, who's in what positions in the league, and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A question that's just popping in my head was, obviously, Man City won the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup.
Domestic treble, yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to count the Community Shield, it's a quadruple. That's up to you how you sort of view that. But they won 4 trophies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair share. Okay.
Yeah. So, who do you think had the most successful season? Do you think City winning a domestic treble, or Liverpool winning just the Champions
It's
League?
definitely City. Liverpool's achievement was terrific. Don't get me wrong; it was incredible. But winning a domestic treble is very difficult.
Yeah. Those of you listening, I think that question might sort of split opinions.
I think it will. That would divide a lot of people.
Yeah, if you're a Liverpool or City fan, or just any fan in general, pop the answer down below. Which one do you think is more impressive? Sort of City season winning the treble or Liverpool winning the Champions League?
I'd be interested to know people's opinions actually on that, because it is subjective.
Yeah, and people will argue that Liverpool have won the biggest competition, club competition, but then sort of playing on the flip side of that, City have won 3 trophies.
I think the domestic treble, because the time scale that it goes over. Does that make sense? It is from season. It's like right start to finish, and there's so many roadblocks and hurdles to overcome.
And I think Guardiola and a couple of other managers have said in the past that they think the Premier League is a harder competition to win than the Champions League, and I can, in a way, kind of see that.
I get that
because of the longevity, the 38 games, how good you have to be consistently.
I mean, you look at realistically now. You look at the Champions League, right? If you get an easy group, and then you come out of that group and you get an easy last 16. I mean, you're kind of doing all right. I mean, you only have a few big games. And
you look at sort of previous history. It tells you Chelsea won the Champions League when they finished. I think it was nowhere near the top. Liverpool won in 2005 when they didn't finish anywhere near the top.
Yeah,
there's clubs that have won the Champions League that haven't finished anywhere near the top of their domestic league.
That is very true.
Which obviously tells you that perhaps the actual league, where they play more games against a bigger sort of pot of teams, is just more difficult to be consistent.
I would agree.
So just to clarify, Man City won the Premier League, Man City won the FA Cup, and they won the EFL Cup, they call it now, isn't it? It was the League Cup, the Carling Cup,
but whatever you
EFL Cup.
Whatever you call it.
Champions League winners, Liverpool, as we've covered, and then top 4 is Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Spurs. Europa League, Arsenal and Manchester United go straight into the group stages.
Okay.
And Wolves are in the qualifying rounds.
Got you. Okay.
Big shout out to Wolves.
Incredible. Do you know what? Did you want to pick a team of the season quick?
Yeah, so I've got my team of the season as in the club, and then I'll go through my actual team of the season, individual players. My team of the season is Wolves. I am going to go with Wolves.
I'm going with Wolves too.
Obviously, we've covered it already, but Liverpool and City have both been exceptional. You can't deny that. Was in 98, 97 points.
It's a wild total.
Yeah,
bro.
they were both unbelievably good over the whole season, and both clubs won trophies. Between them, they won pretty much all there was to win, and there's no taking that away from them. But just on the flip side of that, what Wolves managed to do, they finished 7th place, which is the best of the rest that you can hope for in their debut Premier League season. And it wasn't just where they finished, because Burnley finished 7th last season.
Wolves did it with finesse.
Yeah, they did. They played great football.
Everything else.
They signed well. And there was nothing not to like about them. They were unlucky not to get the FA Cup final as well.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think I said at the time, I mean, I would have rathered them than Watford. And Watford got pumped.
Let's not go there for them, for their sake anyway. But I think if Wolves had got to the final, they would have given a much better game than Watford. Styles and all that. You look at how Wolves did against the top 6 sides.
They say styles make fights in boxing, and that's very true.
And same in a lot of sports as well. I think Watford, so City are all wrong for Watford, but Wolves, they would have stacked up better. They would have played a different brand of football. Would they have won it? Perhaps not, but
would have given it a go.
I was on holiday watching it, and after the 3rd or 4th goal, and then I kind of just
it was not men against boys, right? So I don't want to disrespect Watford in that way, because they're a very good side and they acquitted themselves well, but it was just, I don't know, bro. The deck was stacked in City's favour. When what do you do if you're Watford? You can only show up and try your best. Yeah,
it didn't go to plan, far from the plan on the day. But it's like you say, they weren't expected to win Watford, but they'll be extremely disappointed that the scoreline ended like it did.
Yeah, no, that's facts, definitely, bro. So team of the season, we're both gonna go with Wolves, then, yeah.
Yes,
both cool. Wolves. Let us know your team of the season as well, people. Anything you want to tell us, let us know. Tweet us, leave it in the comments. You already know the drill by now, innit? Yeah. So let us know what you think.
Okay, let's have a look. So the next thing I wanted to go on to was team of the season again, but individual players.
1 to 11, yeah.
1 to 11, yeah. So I'm just going to briefly go over the PFA team of the year. I don't know about you, Spoon, but personally, there's a couple of players I wasn't quite sure about, as I always am when they pick the UEFA Team of the Year, PFA
Yeah, please go through
Team of
it
the
for
Season.
people,
So this is the official named PFA Premier League Team of the Year. So not too many arguments with the back four and the goalkeeper. It's made up mainly of Liverpool and City players. They've gone for Edison in goals.
Yeah.
Don't disagree with that?
No, not at all. I mean, you could make a case for Alisson, but...
Yeah. So just to say in advance before I say this back four, like you just pointed out, you could make a case to swap a City player for a Liverpool player and vice versa.
I'm gonna go with this now and say I'm looking at this back four now, and it's the best back four in the league.
Yeah,
easily.
It is Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Andy Robertson at left back. Wouldn't disagree with that in the slightest.
Can't disagree with
Two
that.
best fullbacks in the league. I think they total 20 odd assists between them.
Probably the two best fullbacks in the world right now.
Yeah.
Without question.
Virgil van Dijk, probably the best defender in the world. Partnered with Aymeric Laporte.
Laporte, you called earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
I remember you saying he's going to be a big star for City, which he was.
I mean, he wasn't quite at Van Dijk's level, but I mean, who is? He had a couple of off games, but across the season, I would say he deserves his place.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, quick, Van Dijk, Ballon d'Or. Do you think he should get it? I'm saying yes. I'm calling it now. I think he deserves it. I think he absolutely deserves it.
No, I don't.
What? Elaborate quickly.
One, defenders just don't win Ballon d'Ors.
That's. I'm not going to say the word on camera because there's kids watching. But that is unacceptable.
But what I would also say is that. Okay, can I just, first of all put your argument forward as to why you think Van Dijk should win the Ballon d'Or first of all?
Because he is just graceful, athletic, full of technical ability. Hasn't been dribbled past all season, instrumental in everything that Liverpool have done, head and shoulders the best defender in the world, has been an absolute rock. Bear in mind Liverpool had what would have been an iconic Premier League season if they hadn't just fell short, and that was in no way his fault. And he's gone and he's led them to Champions League glory as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to the final of the Nations League, which he was unlucky last night as well, in fairness. Holland, with Ryan Babel up front, what are you really going to do? Do you know what I mean? He's been everything. He's been everything you would want in a football player. And the fact remains, he hasn't been dribbled past all season.
Yeah, no, that's a phenomenal stat.
And Messi did. Okay, you can say Messi did X, Y, and Z. Bro, when push came to shove, Messi went missing.
Okay.
At Anfield,
but
he went missing.
For me, the award is the best, most talented player in the world, and I still think it's Messi.
At that moment in time.
Yeah, I still think it's Messi.
I'm going Van Dijk.
And it's an individual award, so some people say he didn't win this, he didn't win that, and you're absolutely right. But based on utmost talent, it's Messi. I mean, you could even make a case for still Cristiano again. He won the league.
You have to perform. You have to perform into it, and what they've won. For me, it's a no-brainer. It has to be Van Dijk.
I think the fact that he's also, it's not hugely instrumental, but the fact that he's also won the Nations League now, another European trophy with his team, adds to kind of his CV.
Bear in mind, he only came into the Nations League in the semi-finals.
Still scored a hat-trick, got into the final.
No, he did, but I mean, I'm not.
I just don't think Van Dijk will win the Ballon d'Or.
No, you're probably right, but I think
he'll finish in top 3. Another great shout and so underrated is Bernardo Silva.
Bro, what a football player!
He's City's Player of the Year, and that's above Sterling. He won it above Aguero, above Laporte, all the great players they had this season.
Yeah,
Bernardo Silva was the Player of the Season. He won everything there was in England, and he then won the Nations League as well.
Yeah, his win percentage as a whole is actually...
For me, he's been just as brilliant as Van Dijk this season.
You could make that point.
Yeah.
You could make it.
Yeah, I personally don't think Van Dijk will win it. Has he done enough to win it? Maybe.
Let us know your opinion.
Another question for you.
Let us know.
Yeah.
All right, what we'll do, bro, we'll just go to a quick interval. Yeah. We've got the back four and the keeper done. We will give you the best of the rest. And then we got plenty more to cover with the questions you guys have sent in. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 5. All right, people, we're back. B&B Podcast. Okay, Premier League Team of the Year. We'll pick up where we left off.
Indeed.
Vecky, Talk to people, bro. What we got? Take it away.
Yeah, so just to clarify then, no arguments with the back five. So Ederson, Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Laporte and Robertson, yeah?
Yeah,
all
cool.
happy with that?
Yeah.
Pretty sure most would be. Okay, so this is where we potentially get into a little bit of a debate. Now, they've gone with a 4-3-3. So the three that they've gone in the middle.
I'm not against that initially. That's a decent formation.
Yeah, the 4-3-3 is okay with me. Obviously, when you get to sort of the top end of the pitch and you see the options that you have, it gets a bit of a headache because you haven't seen who's sort of missed out yet. But when you think who has missed out and you try and get them in, it becomes a bit difficult. But we'll come to that. Okay. So the three in the middle they've gone for is Bernardo Silva. We just highlighted.
Yeah, that's
absolutely no problem.
That's fine.
Fernandinho. Which I'd imagine that sort of he's going to play like a defensive midfield role in that team.
Look, it's a hypothetical team. Do you need a defensive midfielder in there?
You would need something, wouldn't you?
In a hypothetical, in a real life team, but in a hypothetical team, I just go.
Yeah, we're just going for team of the season. So, Fernandinho, there's a question mark there. The third player in the midfield, Paul Pogba.
Absolutely not.
I'm afraid not.
United fans, by the way, as if you don't know, you may know, we are United fans, but V&B is a neutral platform where we give opinions just that are down the middle.
Yeah.
Paul Pogba, United fans love to inflate his season with the stats that he has. Paul Pogba went missing, bro. The last 10 games of the season when United really needed him, bro, he went missing.
Yeah.
Case in point, right, the game against Cardiff at the end of the season, where Paul Pogba, I don't know who is marking him, right? The ball is out for a throw-in on. I
know exactly what you're talking about as well.
Paul Pogba is standing behind the Cardiff player. So the ball is over here, Paul Pogba's here, Cardiff player is in front of him. Cardiff player just opens up his body, rolls him like he's not there.
Yeah,
they run through and score. Mm-hmm. That's basic defending that they teach you in under 6 football.
Just weren't interested.
You just wasn't interested. You take the fact that he tried to engineer a move to Barcelona at the start of the season for what might be one of the worst deals ever, which would have been Yerry Mina and 38p going to United, right? Which was horrendous. It was degrading enough to start with. Throw in the fact then the awful penalty run-ups, right, where it's designed just to make everybody look at Paul Pogba. That's it. I don't think it has any significant benefit, right, in terms of him actually scoring. Mm-hmm. And then you take his performances in the last 10 games. The game against Wolves in the FA Cup where United got dumped out, completely missing. The game against Cardiff where he, as the guy on the pitch with players like Angel Gomez and all these others, is the one who has to be the leader and go, okay, we haven't had a good season, but let's end it on a high. He was awful, bro. Does not deserve to be in that side.
I'm looking at the PFA website here, right? And there's a description for each player. Now, don't look over and read it. I'm going to read it to you, right?
Read it to me, yeah.
This is where I don't understand, like I said, UEFA Team of the Season, PFA Team of the Season. I don't understand, and I want to know who picks these teams. There's people who are saying that they've voted or they go by like a majority of votes. I fail to see it, Sanders, because
is that voted for by the players though, by their peers?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, I don't really understand.
Yeah. And the description. Okay, so this is what they've said about Paul Pogba and why he's in the team. Okay, so they've said a World Cup winner last summer. Pogba has enjoyed the best goal-scoring season of his career, racking up over 12 goals as United battle for a Champions League spot. I noticed that the way they've said that is because this was published the 25th of April, okay? So they were still battling at the time. Possessing stunning ball striking and passing abilities with both feet, along with a tremendous work rate. The 26-year-old has thrived under Solskjaer and can be expected to have a stellar end to the campaign. Whoa, there's a couple of things there. So I don't know where to start.
We need to have a chat with whoever wrote that.
Yeah. So first of all,
that is way off.
He did rack up over 12 goals, which is his best goal scoring return. How many of those goals, firstly, were penalties?
I don't know off
I think it's over half.
Off the rip,
and tremendous work rate. Where's that from? I didn't see it. But I don't know what too much in depth of this one. But saying that he was expected to have a stellar end to the campaign, he did not. Now, to be in the PFA Team of the Season, you have to perform all season. which he did not.
I am in a complete agreement with that. You're not
he
gonna get any different
performed
from
in
me.
the sort of 10 to 15 games of Solskjaer's reign.
He performed when it suited him.
Yeah.
And that's what really annoyed me.
And for some reason, someone's judgment is clouded because they think that what he did in that sort of 2-month period means that he should be in this team.
Just cut you off there, bro. I don't usually get into Twitter debates, right? Because people from a distance can't tell who is who. So you could have two. You look like a fool arguing with someone over absolutely nothing, right?
Yeah.
I put out a Pogba tweet on my own Twitter page, I think it was, right? And, bro, people were coming for me. They were like, oh, you're only saying it because he's French and he's foreign, but you support Rashford and Lingard because they're English. I'm like, hold up a minute. I was like, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. I was like, hang on. The only player that gets any credit in that United side that would even get close to being on the bench for that team is Lindelof.
Yeah.
That is it. That is it. They were all rubbish. In fairness, Marcus Rashford now was carrying an injury for the large majority of the season. From what I'm told, again, I don't know how true that is, but it's pretty well sourced from people who are close to United. So he gets a little bit of a pass in that respect. Plus, Rashford's young as well. He's carried United on his back previously. He's done very well. Pogba, on the other hand, a man who is a World Cup winner, and this is what I don't get either, right? Pogba, I'm gonna give everybody a really good example here, right? Prime Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant, a basketball player.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He was the face of the LA Lakers, right? So he is the guy that's the biggest paid athlete at the LA Lakers. He's the most talented. He is, from a marketing standpoint, not America's sweetheart by any stretch, but he's the most marketable. He's a golden boy.
Yeah.
Very similar to Pogba at Manchester United. When the LA Lakers lost, who do you think they came for first?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe,
right, yeah.
Because that's the pressure that comes with being the face of a franchise. Yeah. And Pogba has not handled that pressure well at Manchester United. So he shouldn't be near that side. But continue, bro. Before I digress.
I'm just going to put forward some suggestions as a United fan of who should potentially be in that midfield over Paul Pogba.
I think of one already, and you already know who I'm going to say.
James Maddison.
You already knew I was going to say Maddison.
James Maddison's up there. Then we have Ruben Neves.
Neves, outstanding, bro.
Then we have Ryan Fraser.
Fraser be a good shout.
De La Feu.
De La Feu is another good shout.
And that's just four I've just come up with in a split second.
Madison, I mean, for those who haven't seen it, Madison created the most chances in Europe's top five leagues. Yeah. That's incredible. Unbelievable. And they were saying he wasn't in the England squad the other night. He was in the England under-21 squad. Madison had created 40 more chances than the entire England midfield put together. Barkley, Rice, and was it Delph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that.
I know. So
it actually aggravates me, and I don't even support Leicester, or I'm not I don't have any direct affiliation with James Maddison, but it just angers me. I know that's not the case.
Pogba as well. I know I'm going off top. I'm going on a Pogba rant by you.
Go on.
Pogba played a ball against Bolivia, right? I don't know if you saw the thing. Did you see the video clip? Mm-hmm. Pogba played a first-time half-volley pass right into the path of Kylian Mbappe, who is quicker than most cars anyway, right? So Twitter just went off. The Pogba fanboys are like, "Oh, what a pass! It's superb! It's brilliant! It's probably one of the best passes I've ever seen." Hold up. Wait a minute, something ain't right. Yeah. Let me tell you this. There's at least 10 players in the top 6, maybe more, that can play that pass with their eyes closed. Yeah. Bro, I do not understand people who won't call him out on certain things.
Yeah, but he'll do something that we know he can do, no problem, because he
is a quality player. Yeah. I like Pogba, but don't over-egg the pudding.
Yeah. When you're on, what is he on? 300 plus grand a week, I'd imagine.
Comfy with bonuses.
If not more. I expect him to be playing those passes. He played a very good ball into Rashford. We scored against Spurs when we won 1-0. Brilliant pass. But there's so much more to the whole Pogba situation than his passing ability. That doesn't get him out of jail, right?
No, not at all.
But yeah, I mean, there's more that we could put forward. Those just 3 or 4 we've suggested off the top of our head, right? So the front 3. So we're going to the business end. Okay. Now this is where you can agree or disagree, and I wouldn't really be someone to tell you that you're wrong either in this situation.
There's a lot of right answers you could fit into this jigsaw puzzle, right?
So they have gone with Raheem Sterling.
Good shout.
Sergio Aguero,
Okay.
and Sadio Mane. Now, I initially don't really have too much wrong with that. Like, it's not bad. It's very good.
It's incredible.
Now, which the three of those, which one's got to go? And I'm gonna.
You already know what I'm gonna say. Look, I love him, right? And I say it all the time. If I was ever gonna hire a hitman, I would hire Aguero. I would hire Aguero because he doesn't miss. Like, if I wanted someone dead, I'd be like, look, here's a bag of money. I want you to go and do it. And I could put my feet up, right? I could watch, like the Food Network, as I always do, right? Because that's my thing now. I like that. YouTube cooking show coming soon. but let me tell you, he'd have to go from that.
Okay. So
he'd have to. Because those two they were exceptional.
Who do you replace him with, though? I'll give you some people here, right? So you've got Salah. You've got Hazard. You've got.
You know how much I love Eddie Hazard as well.
You've got Son.
No, it won't be Son.
Aubameyang.
No,
Golden Boot.
No,
obviously you've got Lacazette. You've got Firmino. They're nearly guys, but you got Hazard, Salah, Aubameyang, Son's and genuine shouts.
If I had to substitute Kun, it would be for Salah.
Because I feel like you need an out-and-out goal scorer. So if it's not Aguero, you'd have to take Salah.
That's pretty much still, are you taking the fact that Sterling was a Liverpool player? Liverpool's been doing well with strikers.
Can you, for as much as you love this man, can you have a Premier League front three team of the season without Eden Hazard?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just admitted it live on it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna
only because he didn't play in a title-winning side. Other than the Europa League.
Yeah, but it wasn't down to him, though, I don't think.
No, but I mean, he did his utmost to get Chelsea where he could go. But if he was playing in a side where they were winning the elite trophies, you could make more of a case.
Mm-hmm.
But no, in that respect, he misses just out. But he is going to be such a big loss to the Premier League. I cannot begin to tell you how sad I was. Even just as from a neutral standpoint, people go, he's not all this and he's not all that. He is a joy to watch.
Yeah.
He is 5'0", right? He has a low center of gravity and he just makes shit happen constantly. I love watching him play. I do. And I'm going to look forward to watching him in El Clasico next season.
No, I agree. And my team of the season wasn't too dissimilar. I switched out Pogba. So I played a 4-2-3-1 and I put Maddison and Bernardo Silva.
Good shout.
As like a two midfielders. Then I put Sterling and Mane on both wings, with Hazard playing in behind Aguero.
Okay, I can live with that. Yeah, I can live with that.
Because Hazard has the tools to sort of play in behind the striker. He can do what he wants.
He's different gravy.
Yeah, so that's what I went with. I personally think that Pogba shouldn't be in there. I think we can agree with that. I think most people would agree with that. The defence picks itself, so does the goalkeeper, unless you prefer Alisson. If you prefer Alisson, I won't really disagree with you too much.
I wouldn't argue that either, to be honest.
It's sort of either or. You flip a coin.
Alisson impressed me though.
Yeah.
He really solidified his reputation now as probably one of the world's best.
The difficult decision lies with Brazil national team. Pick him on the
I can't remember growing up, right? Because Brazil, their keepers were always ass. Like, they were proper ass.
They had
Dida. Dida was okay, right? But Dida was prone to a mistake. And they've never been known for producing goalkeepers. So to have two class goalkeepers.
Brilliant keepers, yeah.
Yeah, they're fair play. No, I mean, that's impressive.
But that was the team of the season. So, yeah, they got it right in most places, but there's a couple of picks. Always is.
I mean, it's hard. If it was picked by a group of people, I mean, I don't know how they'd ever come to a conclusion in a room, to be honest, because they probably all disagree. So maybe that's where they give it to the, to the fellow players and say, look, you just give us your votes and we'll go from there.
Indeed.
It's interesting, though.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Where do you want to go next?
Where do you want to go next?
That's a great question. I had, just to give a little bit of airtime, obviously we'll cover this a bit more over the coming months, but the three promoted sides.
Yes. Congratulations to them as well.
Indeed, yeah. Norwich City went through as champions. Sheffield United in second, and Villa through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Obviously, huge congratulations to those three sides, and the best of luck to them as well next season. Just a straight up question. Obviously, there's been no or little to no transfer dealings at the moment. And I don't know to what sort of extent of players either three of those sides are going to sign and how much money they've got to spend and so on and so forth. But straight up question, which one of those three teams do you think will finish the highest?
Norwich.
Yeah, I'm going to go Villa.
No, I'm not going Villa. Only because Tammy Abraham's going back.
Yeah, I just think they're such a big club and they've got such a good sort of stadium atmosphere, group of fans. I think in the home games they'll pick up more points.
That Norwich team come in top. They look a little more equipped.
They do, but historically, if you look back, the team that usually gets promoted as champions doesn't often go on to do.
No, that's true.
That good.
It differs from season to season. Mm-hmm. No one the two of the best players last season you look at Villa, right? They had Grealish, who's still going to be there, right? Yeah. Grealish was exceptional, even after the whole punch incident thing. It just spurred him on even more. He's going to want to make an impression. I can see him doing bits. The loss of, I don't know if it might not be a loss of Tuanzebe, right? Because he's a fantastic young centre half. But if I'm Solskjaer, and we'll go over United another time, so I'm not getting into this in depth right now because I haven't got the heart to do it. But Tuanzebe,
there's a day, but it's not today.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for that. Tuanzebe would absolutely be a fourth choice centre half at Manchester United for me. I think he's terrific. And Tammy Abraham's gone back to Chelsea. So those three key players have only kept
fair shot.
Them.
So I think we both agree that Sheffield United could be coming straight back down. I don't know why, but I just seem to think...
Unless, it depends who they sign. Team spirit, as Cardiff showed, will only get you so far. You do need to have end product. Yeah,
for some reason they just strike me as just a team that will come up and just not really do a huge deal and just sort of
there's always
be overawed.
One, right?
And they'll go straight back down. But yeah, exciting to see what they sort of...
Although I do like Dean Henderson at Sheffield United. He's a very good goalkeeper, on loan again from Manchester United. And he will be one to watch next season. So if you're looking for up-and-coming players and you think, you know what, I don't really know what he's about, maybe I'll give him a watch, Dean Henderson will be a boy next season.
Good shout. Brilliant shout. A couple more sort of awards that we're going to give out for the season between us. Manager of the season. Now, my thinking here is if we've given... Wolves,
I was
going to
say,
I was just
about to say Nuno.
Nuno,
it's difficult not to give it to him because he's a great guy. I think he's Nathan Redmond's dad as well.
He definitely is.
They look an awful lot like each other.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, to any Liverpool or City fans, or again neutral fans that might be screaming at the TV or laptop or phone saying it has to be Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp, I hear what you're saying. We hear what you're saying. For manager of the season,
we hear it. We're just not listening to it.
We just don't agree with it.
I'm just not listening.
It's close, but it's
close, but it's no cigar.
It's no cigar. It's not quite Carlin, is it?
No,
Even though Carlin is shit, but
it's not Carlin.
It's the way it goes. But Nuno for me would be my pick just for how well he did with that side and how they played.
Totally agree.
Player of the season, no arguments, is Van Dijk.
100%.
It is Van Dijk.
I wouldn't have a different answer on this podcast right now.
Young player of the season, though. Now the award went to Raheem Sterling.
That's a joke.
Now, when I was announced, I kind of thought, he's been around so long.
How can he be around for 15 years and still be young?
Like, he's young, but for me, he doesn't go into that category anymore. He's not like a new young...
He's a senior pro.
He's a senior pro,
it's
yeah.
Not like he just broke
so,
through.
Now, there was a couple here for me. I'm going to give you the...
I already know one picking.
So,
you know one picking.
Yeah, so you're going to go with Trent Alexander-Arnold.
You read my mind so well. It's unbelievable.
And... I think I agree with that, but I just want to give a couple of shout-outs to David Brooks.
Excellent shout-out. Excellent young player.
And Dwight McNeil.
Shout-out to Dwight, yeah. Dwight would, because of who he plays for, would never really be in the run-in, but deserves honourable mention.
Yeah. So, yeah. And how old is James Maddison?
22.
Yeah, so, I don't know what the exact criteria is for young player of the season. But especially...
Well, that's his debut Premier League season.
Yeah, and I was going to say, as debut seasons go, I think best debut season has to be James Maddison.
By the way, this is really off topic. I don't watch it. But his ex-missus is in Love Island.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's moved on to bigger and better things.
She like an 8.5. Like maybe,
okay.
I'm not getting into that either
No,
now.
no.
No, you feminazis will not get us. You will not. She's a nice girl. She's doing all right for herself.
She's doing okay.
Yeah. She's not James Madison. She's not his Bay anymore, but
she's doing her best to create her own chances, isn't
she? A bit like James Madison.
Yeah.
She orchestrates a lot of chances.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll move on from that as well.
So Madison, best debut season. Trent Alexander-Arnold, young player of the season.
Yeah, well, Trent would be top of my list for that. He thoroughly deserves it.
And you could probably make a case for Alexander-Arnold. Say if Van Dijk isn't in that Liverpool team, then he's one of the contenders alongside Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Robertson. Player of the season.
Very true, yeah.
It was just one of those seasons this year where Liverpool and City were just so good that there's 3 or 4 players from each team.
Everybody though that did Premier League predictions would have put those two as the top 2. I think we all saw that coming a mile away.
I don't know if I did.
Really? Did you not know? Well, we wouldn't know because we don't have the prediction.
We will know, and I have a feeling when I open my envelope on this episode, I think I'm gonna just have to shy away a little bit and sort of put my hands up and say, I fucked up.
I did all right, bar Fulham.
Do you know what
Fulham really?
I actually don't.
Fucked it for me.
I don't know. I'm not even going to try and guess what I predicted because I just can't remember. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay. Anywhere else you wanted to go before?
No, do you know what? That rounds up everything quite well. I know Vecky's got a little piece that I was unaware of. As much as I try and stay abreast of the situation, I missed out on this. So please let us know about the new rules.
Football fans, those football purists out there who care so deeply about the Premier League and about your teams and about the league in general, there are some new rules to this Premier League season. There are,
which I had no idea. By the way, VAR is in as well?
Oh yeah, VAR is coming in.
Cool.
Yeah, we can touch upon that I think after this a little bit. Yeah. Now, when I say there are new rules this season, this happens every season, so they amend wordings to certain rules. Sometimes they remove rules altogether.
Yeah.
They add new rules. But there's a couple of sort of more important changes that have taken place this year. Now, there are a few little other ones as well, but I haven't put in because they're just sort of negligible. They've just changed word and a couple of things, which ultimately doesn't change much. But there's 6 sort of changes which I think are important to this sort of Premier League season, and ones that would be good to know about going into the season as well. So I'm just going to... Spooner, by the way, as you said, doesn't know about these rules.
I have no idea about it.
So your genuine reaction and opinion to what I tell you is on the spot.
This has now become a reaction video.
It has become a reaction video, okay? I do think you will agree with a lot of them, though, okay? And they're on the face of it, I think they are genuinely for the better.
I am known to be controversial, though, so I may not agree.
Well, let's do this.
All right, let's do it.
So the rule change number 1: free kicks.
Okay.
No attacking players are allowed in the wall.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
So no attacking player from the attacking team is to be within 1 meter of the wall.
But I could care less either way.
Why, you ask? To avoid time wasting and disturbances between players.
Okay, I get that.
So if City are playing Liverpool and City have a free kick, there's not allowed to be a City attacking player within 1 meter of that wall.
It's fine. I have no problem with that.
No issues with that. It kind of makes sense. Avoid, sometimes you'll have the Liverpool wall and there'll be like Bernardo Silva trying to like shuffle his way in and sort of do this and do that. That's not going to happen anymore. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
You might have heard this one. Rule change number 2: substitutions.
No, didn't hear that.
Okay, so set your scenario as it currently stands. There's a Premier League game going on. One team is winning 2-1, coming up to sort of 88th, 89th minute, 90th minute, and injury time, so on. To waste time, a team will make a substitution. So that player's in the middle of the pitch, sees his name go up on the board, he's being subbed. So what they have to do is walk to where the board is and they get the change over, This often takes quite a lot of time. So if clapping his way off, almost knocked the mic over, I'm a bit excited. He's clapping his way off, so if his player's giving him pats on the back, well done, great game. It takes 1, 2 minutes, whatever, 3 minutes, time gets added on. That doesn't happen anymore. What happens is when you get substituted, wherever you are on the pitch, you will leave the pitch. At that point of the pitch.
Oh, okay, I got you. So if you're down by the corner flag,
that's where you exit.
It's all the way over here. You just go off over there. So there's going to be one guy that tries to do the long run.
Oh yeah, and there might be players if they can sort of see indications that they're going to get subbed. Maybe they sort of shuffle away towards the middle of the pitch.
You hit the nail on the head.
You know, so
gamesmanship.
I mean, there will always be a little bit of fuckery that will go
bastardry.
But what it's meant to do is to prevent time wasting. So if someone makes a snap decision that they want to make a sub, if you're up by the corner flag and your number's on the board, you'll dawdle off with the corner flag.
That's another interesting rule, yeah.
So again, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah,
I have no arguments to that.
I disagree with that.
Okay. Third new rule, cards. Yellow and red cards will now be issued to managers and coaching.
I thought they were already, or am I mistaken?
No, they hadn't actually come into effect yet. So the yellow and red cards. So managers will face similar punishments to players for outspoken behaviour and arguing with officials.
Okay, fair enough.
Again, pretty straightforward, to prevent managers from arguing decisions like players do, basically.
Okay.
So they can be issued a yellow and a red card. Okay?
Makes sense.
Where I think they can be sent to the stands, or they can be banned. So it's kind of similar punishments, but they will actually be issued cards as warnings.
I got you, yeah.
So I think now they can actually be issued a yellow card for dissent, which is supposed to act as a deterrent. Now this is a yellow card.
That's not going to act as a deterrent.
Well, we'll see, but
no way.
They're trying. Okay.
My bad again. Sorry, people.
It's getting ridiculous now.
I know, it's so unprofessional.
I know, very unprofessional. Rule number 4: drop balls are no more.
What, really?
Yeah.
Well, I do like a good 50-50 drop ball when it's just all legs kicking the shite out
back in
of
the
each other.
day,
Yeah.
there used to be some proper leg swinging.
Yeah, there's some proper, proper challenges.
Sorry to let you down with that. And the Premier League have decided there'll be no more drop balls under any circumstances.
That, you know, the person that made that rule is probably the same person that made the 8th place medal for kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, don't get hurt.
Yeah, we've got to put something there.
Yeah, oh my God, someone get some bubble wrap there.
The reason, though, they've said, is the ball will be returned to the side that last had possession of it. If the game is stopped in the penalty area, it'll be returned to the goalkeeper.
That's I mean.
The reason being, someone's just said it serves no real purpose anymore.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't, does it, when you think about it. Just for bands, I suppose.
Yeah.
We'll miss it.
It's just a square up in it. It's just 50-50.
But even then, you're not really allowed to challenge anymore. So what is the point?
It's just pointless, yeah. So that's gone. Handballs. This is always controversial. Slight change to the wording of the law on this one.
This bewilders the bejesus out of me.
You know this one, do you?
No, but handballs in general, like, I need to take 2 paracetamol after I think about it, because I mean, we're at the stage now where if it hits your knee, then it's your arm, it's handball. If someone kicks it at you intentionally, it's handball. I don't even know anymore.
Well, the latest amendment to this annoying sort of ruling is goals can now be ruled out if the ball accidentally strikes a player's hand before crossing the line. If a player accidentally handles the ball and creates an advantage or scores from it, they will be penalised with a free kick. So if you're an attacking player, okay, if the ball accidentally strikes your hand before crossing the line, or you accidentally handle the ball, which either ends up in scoring the goal or creates an advantage, you'll be penalised, and the free kick will go to the other side.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
It is what it is, isn't it? I mean.
So if you're the attacking player and the ball's been said, if someone's Alexander Arnold or someone's drilled the ball across the box, it's come up, sort of hit you in the hand, knee, foot, bundled it in, it's going to be ruled out. VAR will rule that out.
Oh God! Look, we'll just see how it goes. I'll give you my opinion around December time because it's a lot to absorb.
Every time they change a rule on handball, we're just like,
I don't, bro. Like, I mean, it's so subjective. We've seen multiple cases from, Dallo when he struck the ball against PSG, and then, there was various other ones. I don't even know anymore. There's no clarity.
I'm gonna liken, the current scenario of handballs and the do's and don'ts and what's allowed, what isn't, what handball, what isn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, compared now to 10, 15, 20 years ago, it's crazy. Yeah.
How did they survive all those years ago?
I don't know, but
handball rule.
What it reminds me of, I don't know if you're into your Formula 1 at all.
No, no.
So just to sort of compare something where there's sort of a similar situation going on. This week, Lewis Hamilton won the Canadian Grand Prix, but he didn't cross the line first. Okay, Sebastian Vettel crossed the line first. Okay, but he was penalised. He had a 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sort of explain because it's quite technical, but he had a 5-second penalty for a duel that he had Lewis Hamilton when he came out the pit lane. Okay.
Yeah.
There was nothing really much happened. Now, those who've seen it might have their own opinion, but basically, in Formula 1 and racing these days, it's not like old school racing like it used to be, where you could sort of go side to side. You sort of, one could fuck the other one off and like sort of, sort of cut him off and go in front of him, and they'd have a genuine duel battle years ago. It's not like that anymore. Vettel was penalised for not exiting the pit lane safely and not doing something within the fair rules of the game, and
not indicating.
He didn't allow Hamilton X amount of room as he was coming into this part of the road. It's and Sebastian Vettel in his post race interview basically said, it's not the sport I fell in love with as a young child. They're bringing in so many new rules now, which take the joy out of racing in a way.
Terrible.
And like the drivers that he grew up with, watching like the Schumachers and the sort of Mika Hakkinen and
like a
Sennas,
free flowing driver.
Yeah, where it would just be two raw drivers' talents where they would just fucking hash it out. And now there's so many things that you can't do because you'll get penalised for this, is not.
I don't like
it. Kind of reminds me of the way football's going in a way that there's been some.
It's a bubble wrap culture, bro. That's what it is. It's like safety. I get why they need safety parameters, but
there's positive changes happening within football, but there's so many sort of rulings now of what you can and can't do and what is and what isn't, that it does kind of take the old school sort of fun element out of it in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Anyway, we digress. The last rule change, which is related to penalties, so they've made it a little bit stricter on goalkeepers. Okay. So goalkeepers must have at least 1 foot on or in line with the goal line when the penalty kick is taken.
You're going to see a lot of retaken penalties.
Yeah.
A lot. And if they're consistent with that, it's going to happen a lot.
And they'll also be prohibited from moving on the line or touching either post. Define
that for me again.
So,
the last part now.
Yeah, so basically what it's trying to say is, if you're walking up, put the ball in the penalty spot, keepers sort of jumping around, moving.
You're not allowed to?
No.
Really?
And you can't go and touch either post either as well. I don't know why it didn't specify. So
I'm assuming gamesmanship.
Yeah, I'd imagine it would be. So the way it works now is,
I don't like that.
If you're awarding a penalty, you
have to stand there just straight like this.
So you put the ball in spot, I stand here and I'm waiting, like this,
like a melon.
And then the ref blows the whistle, and then I can make my move. But then I also got to be careful as a goalkeeper that when I do make my move, that all the while one of my feet at least is on or touching this line.
Yeah. Did you see how the Americans used to do penalty shootouts back in the day? Oh,
brilliant.
But we talk about rule changes. They threw the rule book out. They didn't even care. It was
like running from the halfway line.
Bro, they were like, right, penalty shootout, you get the ball in the centre circle. And
so 1v1 then.
You just run for a 1v1 and try and score. They do what they want.
That's brilliant.
I know. But yeah, is that it now with that then, the 6 rules?
Yeah, those are the main sort of changes.
All right, coolio. Right, we go to a quick interval. Literally be back in a couple of seconds. Add us up on the relevant platforms if you haven't done it already.
Do it.
What are you even doing? Like, come on, you've been with us for long enough. So yeah, we have the questions that everybody sent in after this, so we will be right back. Stay tuned. Oh shit, here we go again. CJ from San Andreas voice. Insert your own meme, people. Right, questions. Thank you first and foremost to everybody that took the time to respond to our tweet and sending questions. Again, to everybody that reps us, just a very big thank you again. We have had plays in close to 60 different countries now. Plays have been ticking over as well. Since we last put out a bit of content, we've had consistent plays.
Yeah.
And I just want to give a big shout out as well to there's a handful of people in America who play us religiously every week. I don't know who you are, but I don't know who these people are. They never get in touch with us, right? But we always get SoundCloud plays in America when I look at the analytics. So shout out to them. Shout out to everybody else that reps
big
us.
Thank you for that. Yeah,
it takes the time to support us. Today we're recording is June 10th. I believe it was June 16th we put out the first podcast. So it's almost a year to the day, and we've been pretty successful so far. So thank you again, everybody that's took the time. Much appreciated. Which question we starting with first, Vecky?
I think the one that you had most recently. So you know this person a little bit better than I do. It's Emily Peters.
Shout out to Em, shout out to Em for the question.
She actually came up with a really good question.
Do you know what? It's probably might be the best question. So well in Em. It's actually really good.
I'll put this one out to you then. So, Emily asked, what game last season did you enjoy the most as a neutral?
The game I would pick. We debated this before coming on because it's such a good question. We couldn't, and Vecky couldn't actually remember off the top of his head.
Just looking at games.
Who would you pick? I said January 3rd, Liverpool City at the Etihad, for the drama that it was involved, for the significance of the game, because it would have meant that Liverpool would have probably gone on to win the league. City clawed it back. I think who was it? It was Salah. It was a Salah shot that was going on.
Yeah, Salah. It
was 11 millimeters away from going over the line. I mean, the 11 millimeters that day pretty much for me decided the Premier League title.
Okay.
So I'm going to go that game again. Excellent question, excellent game. Loved watching it from a neutral perspective. That's me.
Yeah, I'm in the Premier League. I don't think I would really disagree too much with that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Emily meant just the Premier League or whether this was open to the Champions League.
We'll open it up.
I hope we can open it up because it makes my decision a lot easier.
Let us know your thoughts.
Now, obviously, the two standout games. There was quite a few good comebacks in the Champions League.
It was a comeback season, wasn't it?
Yeah. United's game against PSG was obviously a good comeback, amounted to nothing overall. But I didn't enjoy that game when I wasn't a neutral, and I was sweating and my arse was twitching like that the whole time. So that's not the one. But it's got to be either Liverpool, Barca, or Spurs, Ajax.
Oh, they're two good ones actually.
And I'm gonna go with Ajax Spurs, because just for the absolute drama of it.
Yeah, last kick of the game.
Now, there was drama in both, and I completely appreciate that. But I just the drama more of the Spurs game.
I know what you mean.
Sent me over the edge.
Yeah, I know what you
because
mean.
it seemed even more done and dusted because it was into the second
Especially
game.
because you had the drama from the night before as well.
Exactly, and you didn't think anything could equal or top that. Yeah. The fact that they went 2-0 down in the tie, but then there was also half time in the second leg.
Yeah.
And then they came back out of nothing to 2-2 and then scored the win in pretty much the last kick of the game. That for me, as a neutral, I wasn't nervous. I just really loved that game.
Yeah, no, cool. Yeah. Thanks again, Em, for shouting us out.
Yeah.
And giving us a question. We much appreciate that. What else we got?
So again, we're going to have to shout out Lucas Edwards.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. Shout out to Lucas.
We mentioned earlier on the episode that he always interacts with us. Every time we put out, ask us your questions, tweet us your questions. Luke just seems to have so many in his head. He doesn't go with one, he sends about 32.
I'm with that, though.
We're totally fine with that. But Luke is sending a couple, so we've already answered the one that he's asked about Harry Kane. Should he start the final? A good question that he has sent in. He's asked, do you think Callum Wilson is good enough for a top 4 side?
Only one way to find out. Buy him, give him a chance.
Yeah, but your gut, what does your gut tell you? Do you think it depends on who he signs for, or do you just think that regardless he's...
No, it has to be specific. It has to be specific. You can't just... you could, for example, now he couldn't just rock up at a Spurs and do bits because Kane would be in the ways.
Yeah. Now, I know he said top 4, but I think you'd have to kind of call it top 6 because... Like when you say top 4, that could change completely.
I can see him at a Chelsea.
Yeah.
I couldn't see him at a United. I couldn't see him at a Spurs.
Arsenal,
if Orba left, you could see him at an Arsenal. Man City's a no. Who am I missing? Liverpool? No, you won't get Liverpool.
So what does your gut tell you? Do you think if one of those sides that he would suit, for example, sign him, do you reckon he can do the business?
Yeah, he would, 100%.
Yeah? Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah, I do. Okay. This next question from Luke, I think we're going to keep this one very, very short and very sweet. Okay. And I don't think we need more than one word.
Do you want me to give a one-word
answer?
On it?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
The question is, would Eric Dyer be a good replacement for Matic? One word, please. Now, Luke, I don't know if you're fucking with us on this one, right? Because
I I don't know what to say. One word.
It's one of the funniest questions that we've had.
How do I give a one-word answer? No is the additional answer. But if I was to give, no, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm just going to say no.
The answer's no, Lou. It's no.
No. Yeah,
I don't think Eric Dyer wouldn't be a good replacement for me in six-a-side, let alone for Matic. I do
think Matic needs competition next season.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Dyer's not the guy.
But it's not Eric Dyer.
Dyer's not
no.
the guy, no.
Okay. So that's, we've quite comprehensively answered that one. The last question that we have, tricky one to answer this because we don't know. Basically, is the answer to it. We're just sort of guesstimating, right?
Yeah, no, that's very true.
The question is, how much? And I'm sure there's other players we could add to this list, right? But these are the ones that have been mentioned. So, how much would David Beckham, Alan Shearer, Eric Cantona, Gianfranco Zola, and Patrick Vieira be worth in today's market? Now, I don't know why he's chosen those 5 players.
Personal preference, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So you've got a winger, an outlet winger in Beckham. You've got sort of a talisman playmaker in Zola. You've got 2 strikers, Cantona, Shearer, and then you've got a holding midfield player. So it's a bit of a decent mix.
All very good football players.
I think perhaps the best way in which we could try to answer this is you would have to compare, in my opinion, those players with someone like them today in the now and how much they would be worth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Who would be a David Beckham? I don't think there's any player like David Beckham out there right now.
Yeah, we'll come back to Becks.
I'm going to go out there and say Becks would be 200 million.
No, you think, yeah.
Yeah. Given his given the fact that marketability, I can't get my fucking words out. Yeah. Marketability, and the fact that technically, he was just immense. Yeah. He wasn't the quickest.
Beckham is like a unique scenario in a way because, like you said, his marketability and his brand
is huge.
Is massive.
And bear in mind now, this is the Instagram age as well. You imagine a young Becks on Instagram.
The shirts and things that he would sell and all that goes with it would be tremendous. It would be huge. So we'd be placing him between the 150 and 200 mil mark.
I'd say he'd be top. Okay. I'd be top level 200 mil.
Yeah. The next one I'm going to bring to is Patrick Vieira because to me now that's like a Kante sort of.
You're talking. Prime Patrick Vieira now, bro. Oh, what a football player!
Yeah, what a footballer.
I would say if you're a prime, if you're getting a prime Hazard that can change a game for 130, I'd say you put Patrick Vieira in at 130.
Yeah, 125, 130. Yeah. Cool. Zola, I think you'd have to compare him to like a Hazard.
Yeah, the thing is though, Zola now was doing everything on a much smaller level. He's a very good player, but I wouldn't quite put him.
Is he perhaps like a Bernardo Silva then, Zola?
It's difficult to say.
Similar kind of build and trickery.
He is. Don't get me wrong. Wonderful football player, right? But I wouldn't put him in the same bracket as some of those other players.
So we say maybe about between sort of about 75 million.
I was thinking probably 60, 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could maybe go higher depending on your personal preference.
Because you kind of price him. How much would Ericsson go for now? Maybe like 60 to 75 million.
Ericsson would be about 70 million.
Yeah.
So if you
similar range.
I was going to say similar range. Yeah. That'd be
cool. Which leaves us with we've got Alan Shearer, which is the Premier League's all-time top goal scorer.
Yeah.
So he's going to be like a Lewandowski or. Like an Mbappe, a Kane.
If you're going to compare him to someone, then okay, Kane.
Yeah, Kane. Even like a Lewandowski, perhaps. Maybe not Mbappe because they're different players, but.
I would say Shearer be, 120.
120, yeah. Okay. And then Cantona.
Who was like a Cantona in this day and age?
Zlatan.
Zlatan's more of an out-and-out striker, and he can. That's like he's at number 10 with that bit of arrogance.
Ronaldo.
He's a number 10 with a bit. He's got no pace, right? But he's all technical ability. He can psych you out before you even get on the pitch because he's that good, and he has that little bit of swagger about him from a marketing standpoint as well. That's a very good one, actually. That's a very good question.
I suppose the question is Is there anybody like Cantona?
Truthfully, I can make cases for strikers and other players that, bar Becks, right? Becks and Cantona are very unique to their time and very unique players, actually. I mean, Beckham, the only other, and this is going to sound like a really weird comparison, right? But the only other player I can think of that even reminded me of David Beckham was David Bentley.
Okay.
In just from a playing style, not in terms of a quality.
Oh, okay.
Just
I was like,
style.
where are you going with this?
No, not.
They have the same first name. There's a huge. They have that in common.
No, but genuinely from his Bentley now would play right wing. He wasn't quick. He was all technical ability, and that's the only comparison I can make. Beckham was far superior, but him. Okay, that's about it really. I don't know of anyone else, and with
Cantona, he's a maverick, is the word that you describe Cantona with, and I think
who could I pick?
In terms of personality, Zlatan is of a similar personality, but they have slightly different
playing styles. Who would you pick though, playing style? I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that can't. I can't think of anyone since Cantona's retired where I've turned around and gone. They remind me of Eric Cantona.
Like a Rooney.
Okay, a Rooney might actually be as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah, because much pace.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
Loads of ability. Yeah, so I'd probably market him. Sounds like Holmes under the hammer, doesn't it? Really.
I love Holmes. I've said that.
I mean,
as well. Shout out to Dion Dublin, by the way.
Yeah, I'd probably say, and his big black,
Yeah,
shrunk.
Dion Dublin with the best penis story ever.
Yeah,
we'll go into that another time.
Yeah, we don't need that now. But so we're saying Cantona today, probably about 125 again, 150.
I was low balling him actually. I was going to say about 85.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'd say about 120.
With performance-related bonuses.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. No. That's an excellent question. That's probably the most thought-provoking question. I thought Emily's was quite thought-provoking, and then I had to think of that, and I was like, wow, actually, I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, maybe we should have some sort of role within football where we come up with the sort of market value of players rather than the clubs.
Yeah,
that could be a thing.
We would absolutely bankrupt everybody if that was the case.
How much will this going to cost you?
Yeah, there would be some seriously overinflated prices. Like Chris Smalling, 82 million, please.
English tax.
Yeah, English tax. Yeah. But yeah, no, thanks everybody again for the questions. Yeah. We got anything else for anything else? Or is that it?
I believe that's it. We did touch on VAR.
Yeah, we touched upon everything else.
The only thing, we'll come back to VAR at some point, right? But
yeah,
the only one thing I wanted to point out, which I found quite funny, was obviously Jesse Lingard's goal that got disallowed in the Nations League, yeah?
Against Holland, yeah?
Against Holland, yeah. It was like a boot.
I still, when I saw it, I called it and said he was off.
Yeah, and there was another decision on the other games where it was literally like half a boot's length in it, and they say the advantage the attacker and all this sort of stuff, right? But someone pointed out, do you reckon players now are going to start wearing green boots?
Camouflage the whole scenario.
Like just grass-coloured boots.
They might.
So
people do whatever it takes to get an advantage. I wouldn't be surprised.
So you look back on VAR and you're like, oh, maybe he's not offside. Maybe his leg is on.
That's sneaky. That's got Neymar written all over it. That had Neymar.
I heard that. I was like, oh, this could actually happen. This might happen. Like,
I did. Funny we should mention him because I wasn't actually going to bring him up. But the whole rape trial, I won't go into it now because but what another sad situation for everyone involved, man. That's a madness. Like we've been over. Like Ronaldo's been through it, and other people have been through it. Ronaldo might still be going through it. I don't know his situation in Vegas or what's going on, but Jesus Christ Almighty! Like what a mental scenario that is. Do you see the WhatsApp video of her beating him? No. I'll show you that off air because I'm not putting that on this video. But crazy. We'll go over that again, and we can go over it in depth. Another time when more comes to light, so to speak, and we're aware of more facts. I think quite a bit has come out already, but there's more to come, so we won't necessarily judge. We'll hang fire. We won't judge anyone too soon. But anyway, thank you again for watching. We're back. We're badder than ever, and we are the #1 podcast that's up and coming.
Maybe even in the world.
I'm going to say in the world. because I believe in us that much. And to everybody that believes in us, thank you too. We'll be back next week. We will have, it's not going to be like a normal podcast. We're going to talk all about transfers, who's going where, doing what, where, when, and why. And we have our separate transfer videos coming out for what would have been the top 6, but it's going to be a top 5 because we can't do Chelsea. So we'll try and come up with some other video for them, maybe like something Sarri related or something else. That aside though, bro, anything else you want to go over?
No, we're all good.
All right, we're out, people. Till next time. Ciao.